Hey, what's up? Today I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about something that I thought would be an interesting topic for today. And today's topic I want to talk about is working for the sake of working. It's an interesting mindset to have and to think about different things. So take, for example, regular, normal, everyday life. Odds are you probably have a job you go to multiple times a week, maybe like 5 times a week, and that's just what you're used to doing. You go to work and you kind of work because you have to. You gotta pay the bills, you gotta support yourself, you gotta be able to live, and in order to do that you have to have a job. And I totally get that. I have a job, I work. I don't work a ton right now, but I still work. It's not something that I necessarily love to do or anything. But I don't hate my job by any means. But the main thing that I'm talking about here is finding things that you can work on that you truly enjoy just the process of working on. By that, I mean just take something that you might be passionate about. For me, I think I have a pretty good example for what I personally have been enjoying to do a lot, and something that maybe you can use to apply in your own life. That being game development. That's something that I've always kind of dabbled in, but never really have taken too seriously, or when I have, it's just never really gotten to be anything too crazy because I've kind of given up on the process because I just wanted an outcome more than just working on the game itself. So for example, I would come up with a fun idea, I'd work on something, and I'd be like, I kind of just don't want to work on it anymore, and then move on to the next thing just because I didn't get the outcome that I was hoping for. And I think that's very common in especially creative avenues. And something that I find really interesting is just once you find something that you truly enjoy to do, just the action of working on a specific thing. And I bring up game development because it's the reason I've been enjoying to do it more now is because I've kind of changed my mindset about it. Not so much of I need to make the best game ever type of thing, but instead it's more along the lines of I want to create something and I just want to create it for the sake of creating. I want to work on this for the sake of working on it. Say I create it and it flops and nobody plays my game, or one person plays my game, or something like that. Well, for one, I hope that if the one person plays my game that they get value out of it and that they enjoy it. But I'm not necessarily focused on just making a game for other people and just banking everything on that. The reason I want to work on it is because that's something that I truly enjoy to work on. And I think that if you're able to find work like that for you, that just makes life so much better. And I mean, it's easier said than done. It all comes back to the most common thing that you've heard is, find the work that you enjoy to do, find what you love to do, and you never work a day in your life. And while I understand that sentiment, I don't know if I necessarily 100% agree with it, because you're still working. It's just you're working on something that you enjoy to work on. I still feel like it's good to make something feel like work, because that's what makes it feel productive and it makes it feel worth the doing, Alright, that took way too long, but I finally found this G's cache. My goodness, this thing was just hiding up here. Booyah. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Just if you're able to kind of just take the pressure off. If you're anything like me, then you don't really have an idea of what you necessarily want to do with your life, and it's just kind of something that you put pressure on yourself. Okay, I need to figure out what I want to do right now so I can start making money, and then I'll be secure and safe and everything will be fine. And it's yeah, that's important to try to want to figure that stuff out completely. But one thing that I've noticed is just it gets me doing things that I don't want to do. It gets me doing things that just doesn't really align with what I'm wanting to do long term. And I used to be really into the self-improvement space that's on YouTube. I really was deep into that for a while, and I'm oh, well, I can make money by making a course, and then I can just pump out a course there and provide value that can help people out, and then that'd be great. But it's just because that's what other people are doing doesn't mean that it's something that I should do, And I'm not trying to knock anyone who does courses or anything, because I genuinely think that people can make really good courses, and it can be worth it and all of that. But I think the real issue comes into play when it's like you're doing it and you don't enjoy it, and you're just like, well, this is how you like make a lot of money. You're just like make enough money, you know? And it's something that, like I was saying, I've fallen into, and it's just not something that I've really enjoyed to do. And, you know, sometimes like the reasoning I had in my head is like, well, you know, it's not like the worst thing ever, and, you know, it has the potential of making a lot of money and, you know, helping people, and that's what I want to do. But the way to go about it isn't that for me. You know, maybe it is for you, and that, you mean, hey, that's great. You know, if you can make a course that helps people, or some sort of product that helps other people in some way, that's awesome. You know, I'm not talking about like, oh, like the scammy like course stuff. I'm talking about like genuinely like helpful courses and products that actually help people. That's when I was just like, okay, I need to figure out what I genuinely like enjoy to do, and something that, like I was saying before, feels like work, but not in the bad way to where I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to go and do this thing, but in the way that's like a little bit of a challenge, and it engages me, and it's something that I genuinely enjoy to do. And that's where I've been finding recently, at least, game development has really been that like itch, because it's like I want to make an impact on people through creating stories and experiences that, you know, like can have an impact on people's lives. And, you know, my like big inspiration there, I think of, is like Star Wars. I just love this whole galaxy of Star Wars, the whole universe, the world building, like everything to do with Star Wars is just so cool, especially for like you know, the original trilogy and the prequels. Those are just, I just love those. And like basically everything before Disney, I'd say, you know, some Disney stuff is okay, but mainly like the original type of stuff, you know, George Lucas's vision. And it's just that's something that I've always found to be so inspiring. And it's like my philosophy has now been like, find something that feels like work, that feels like productive and fun to do, and not just like, okay, I'm just gonna do this really easy thing that I don't really care about, I'm not really passionate about or anything, but hey, it doesn't feel like work and I never have to work a day in my life. Like, I don't want that. I want to have something that I'm passionate about, that I can work on. And that's why I'm like, work for the sake of working. Find what you genuinely enjoy to do and just spend a bunch of time on that. Like for me, I'm trying to work a lot more on YouTube videos, because it's another thing, like YouTube videos and game development, both of those are just things that I really enjoy doing. And it's like, it gives me a sense of like, okay, I'm working towards something that can have an impact on people, for one, and two, it's like something that I genuinely enjoy. And it feels like, okay, I'm not just creating for the sake to get money. I'm creating and working on these things for the sake of the intrinsic rewards that I get for working on it. Sure, like if a video gets a whole bunch of views and stuff, that's awesome, that's great, you know, I'm not going to complain about that. But like, even if a video doesn't do too well, if I make it and I enjoy the process of going about it, or I'm, like I said with the game example, if I make a game and no one plays it, but I enjoyed the process of making it and I increase my skills and I'm just a better person for it, that's what I think that's where the real worth lies. And maybe it's like cheesy, just like work for the sake of working and create for the sake of creating, but I think that that's really the best way to go about it. Like, don't worry about the extrinsic rewards, the extrinsic motivation. Sure, that can be nice, you know, like money and the views or whatever it may be, but the thing that truly matters is just what fuels you to work on whatever it is that you deem worthy to work on, outside of like an actual like regular job, you know, because of course like you're probably gonna need to do that, and unless the thing that you truly enjoy working on takes off, you're just gonna have to keep doing a regular job, which may be fine. I mean, personally, I don't want to work a regular job my whole life, which that's just me personally. I am more of a creative, entrepreneurial type of person, and that's something that I want to work towards more, and something that I have been working towards more. And I just want to create cool characters and stories and worlds and experiences that can have an impact on people potentially, and like make a brand about that around like those like special fun characters and things of that sort. And then like, instead of trying to sell a course or product or something that like works, like teach something to somebody, I think it'd be really cool to make like cool like collectibles and like merch and stuff like that. Like, how cool would it be if I make a character for a game, and you know, I put a lot of time and effort into creating this really cool character, and then I make shirts like with that character on it or something like that. You know, I just think that could be so cool. But that's not the reason why I'm doing that. The reason I'm doing it is because that's what I genuinely enjoy doing. If I just wanted to take the path that may be easier or a little bit more convenient and just the way that I was going before, I'd just go with like courses and stuff. But for me, you know, just that's not what I want to do. And I think if you can find like the specific path that really works for you, that is when life becomes just significantly better. And yeah, honestly, that's about the gist of it. Hopefully you got some insights or some sort of value from this video. And yeah, let me know like what you think. Like, do you have like those specific tasks or things that you work on during the day that you work on for the sake of working on? Like, you don't care about the outcome necessarily. Like, the outcome's important still, but it's like that's not the reason why you do it. You do it just because you enjoy like creating that thing or working on that thing, like whatever it may be, like working on a video, working on a game, whatever it is. Like, that's just my case. But what do you have in your life that you just are excited to work on, maybe every day or every once in a while, whatever it may be? I'm just curious to hear about what you do. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some value from this, and I'll see you in the next one.